Hey kids, today we're going to draw a fisherman, and this will be perfect for, say, like a Father's Day card. Enjoy. Right, the first thing we're going to do is to draw a little circle in the centre of your page, kind of off to the right, I want to see. So your little circle would be like this, kind of more of an egg shape or an oval, like that. The next thing you want to do is to draw a line going through the middle at an angle, just like that, just to mark where the centre of that circle is. This is going to be the fisherman's head. Okay, so you want to do two circles, or rather ovals, resting on this line here. So if you draw one there, leave a gap of just under the width of this circle in between, and then draw another circle next to it there. That's it, two circles. This is going to be the fisherman's eyes. Now the fisherman's going to be looking at us, so the pupils need to go on the right hand side of the eye, like that. Okay, that's the eyes drawn. Now if you follow this curve of this eye on the left and draw a line coming out, and draw it coming in again, and do a little curl on the end, just to make a little nose there. Then further out than the edge of the oval, like towards the end of the nose, if we put a little line going down at an angle like this, then from the end of this line, bring the line almost parallel to this line of the nose, in again, bring it in, bring it in, bring it in, then round the edge off, then continue drawing it, again, double back on yourself, until you reach the edge of the big oval that you've drawn for the head. Now at the end, just where this line and this line meet each other, see this cross? Centre of that cross, draw a line coming out and bring it back to there, like that. That'll be the fisherman's chin. Now what you need to do is to draw the teeth, so you draw a little square, drawing a line coming back in again, kind of in the centre of these two lines that make up the mouth. And before you get to the end, bring a line going up to the top of the mouth, and it'll give you that effect. A little curved line that goes behind this square, if you can imagine, it would be like that for the fisherman's tongue. Okay, in front of the head we're going to put the fisherman's shoulder, body type of thing, which is going to be a dome. Which is going to be a dome like that, which is, it's like the letter D. Like that. And at the top of this dome, leaving a bit of a gap around the edge, kind of, I like to think of it on, like, touching this line here on the head, you want to draw a circle like that. Now you need to do two more lines. You draw one line coming down parallel to this line from the chin, like that, and then a bit nearer, another line like that. And at the bottom of these two lines, in line with this line, you draw a little short line there, like that. That's at the top part of the fisherman's body. Now in the centre of this shape coming down like this, just here, you want a little line coming down, then you want to bring it across and parallel to these lines again, till you almost get to the end. You want the same amount of gap left as you've got here. Like if you could imagine a little square there, the same size square would be there. That's the bottom of the fisherman's shirt. The legs are just going to be one square. I'm going to just draw both the legs together as one square like that. That's going to serve the purpose of drawing both the legs. And you want to draw a line, not in the centre. You want the line to be more towards this line, so you want a less of a gap there than you've got there. You want to draw another dividing line going up, and just before you get to the top, flick it off to the left, like that. That's the fisherman's legs. The fisherman's legs are just drawn together as one shape. The feet are just a little line there, little line here, little line towards the back. Got nice little stubby toes. Bring a line going across, do a little staircase, and bring this line up, curve towards the back to give you the fisherman's feet. Now on top of both the feet you want to add a little space, which I'm going to put two little squares, one there and one there. These are going to be where I'm going to put the fisherman's laces, which I'm just going to use two lines to divide that into that square into three. 1, 2, 3. Same for this one. 1, 2, 3. And it gives you the impression of the fisherman's laces. Next thing I want to do is draw his arm coming out of here. So if you imagine this big circle is the hole where the sleeve is, like he's wearing a kind of a body warmer style jacket. If you can imagine a smaller circle in the centre of this bigger one, the width you want to make the arm, and you now all you have to draw is two parallel lines coming down at an angle, one there and one there, and that'll be the fisherman's forearm. And somewhere along the length of this, a little oval like that, wrapping round with two parallel lines, one at the top, one at the bottom, will give you the fisherman's t-shirt sleeve. That's what that'll be. If you can notice, these two lines that come out, these parallel lines that come out, actually get wider towards the elbow. This is where the elbow will be there, you know. So they get wider towards that, and you want to continue them again at a different angle, heading out towards the rod where he's holding his fishing rod. You want these lines to come up here, and they need to get thinner towards the wrist. Yeah, they go fatter towards the joint, thinner towards the wrist. And at the end of the wrist, which will be here, I'm just going to draw a small circle to show where the hand is going to be. This is going to be the fisherman's hand that's holding the rod. Okay, and the rod will be out like that, curved line like that. That's where the rod will be. And the other fisherman's other hand would be roughly about here. You know, keeping it the same size as that one. And if you can imagine where his other arm would sit, it would be kind of behind the body there. You wouldn't see it, so I'm not going to bother drawing that in just now. To complete these hands, what I usually do is I'll draw a line at an angle like that, almost on the edge of this first circle I drew. Then I'm going to do a little loop coming around the back, like that, and I'm going to do another loop coming around the front. So you've got one on each side, but instead of doing a straight line leading to the wrist, I'm going to do a little, what is like a little staircase, like that, and that'll be the fisherman's hand, basically. And this other hand, the thumb is going to come in front of the fishing rod, so you want to follow the line, the round line that you drew for the hand, but you want to loop it down to create the thumb, and you can even, if you want, draw a little thumbnail. I'll just draw a little circle in the middle. That's how I show that there's a thumbnail there. Now I'm going to draw the fisherman's hat, which is a loop which comes out like this, goes just over the fisherman's eye, like that. That's the brim of his hat. He's going to be wearing like a a kind of like a beanie style hat that a lot of fishermen wear. And you can bring it in 2 lines from the edges of this brim in towards his head, then draw a curved line to join them both up, another curved line just above it, which would be like the centre band, and then a little shallow shape just above, giving you the fisherman's hat. And if you like, if you want to kind of be all clever, you can even draw a bit of detail, and you could draw a little hook, like a fishing hook. Remember to put the barb on the end, which is going to be stuck through the fisherman's hat. Okay, I'll just draw his eyebrows in. I'm going to draw his eyebrows above the brim of the hat, so it looks like they're sticking out. And I'm just going to do 2 sausages over the tops of his eyes, one at that side and the same size at this side. That's the fisherman's eyebrows, and these lines showing you which way the hair's grown there on the top. Right, now the fishing reel will be just about here, just below both the hands. So I'm just going to draw a circle just behind this bottom hand. If you imagine that another circle was there, and if you were to join them 2 up with a line, it would give you like the fisherman's reel. I'll just continue and bring it round there like that. You could even, if you wanted, to put a little handle on the reel that he's going to use to reel the fish in. Right, so now all we have to do is draw the fishing rod, 2 parallel lines that start out thicker at one end, and then they come together and meet at the end of the rod like that. So it's a bit like a long blade. It gets fatter and goes thinner. And then the very end, floating, not attached to this, like floating down a bit, you want to put a little O, like a letter O. And then in the middle, another letter O. And then directly in between these 2 O's, another one. And directly between this one and the hand, another one. Actually, it's further towards the reel, but you want an equal gap between each of those little loops that you've just drawn. I'm going to draw them on a bank, so I'm just going to do a curved line like that. It's going to stop, disappear behind where his leg is, and continue at this end. And I want to draw a line from the bottom of the top O, and there could be a slight curved line like that. And at the bottom of that line, I'm going to draw a big curl. I'm going to do another little curl there. That's going to be like the water. And you can draw the edge of the bank if you want. You can draw it coming out, and you can draw a bit of the land like that. Add a bit of detail on. A few water lines going around as if it's in the water. And you might want to even draw a little bit of a horizon line where the edge of the lake is there. And that's just about it, almost drawn. The only thing else I would add might be a few creases in the pants. And the way I do this is dead simply just a wavy line which comes up at the top on each of the pants legs, like that. So that's the drawing done, the pencil sketch. All we have to do now is ink it in. Oh, almost forgot. He's got no ears. The ears just it's like a letter C flipped. That's the ear. It's just a C. And in the centre, I'll just put a cross, like a kiss. And you can even, if you wanted to have hair, you could put his hair in. I'm just going to do some little dots to show that he's got like a shaved head. Yeah. And I think that's it. Yeah. You might want to put a few bits of detail in the eyes, maybe a couple of little windows. Like that, and that's it. And it's time to ink it in with our black marker. This is going to be all the outline work. I'm going to start with the jacket. So I'm going to just draw this arch going around like that, all the way to the bottom. And this end, stop it where the arm is, because it's sitting behind that arm, and just finish it off at the bottom with a straight line going across. Next thing I'm going to do is the same as this, behind this arm. I'm going to draw in the circle, which is where the sleeve is coming out of, like that. Again, stopping it where the arm is. I'll draw these two parallel lines in, which is going to be the top of his t-shirt arm. And I'm going to draw the little oval at the end, like that. And this is where the arm's coming out of. It's the gap in the sleeve. So I'll draw the arm in, just follow them parallel lines and stop them when I get to the wrist, where the hand is, like that. So that's that. The hand, basically, I'm just going to draw that loop in, draw that top line in, and draw the little staircase bit in. And that's that drawn. Next I'm going to draw this bit behind. That's the other side of the fisherman's body warmer that he's wearing, to keep his body warm when he goes fishing. And I'll just draw this line coming down here and finish off his t-shirt. He's got his shirt hanging out, he hasn't got it tucked in. The legs, simply just going over the line. If you want, when you're drawing the legs, because these are quite straight, you can add a bit of a kink in the line. The same with the back, you can just to give it that feeling that he's wearing baggy pants, like that. And I'll draw them creases going on. I'm not pressing on quite as lightly. I'm not pressing on as much, sorry. With the pen, I'm just drawing them in lightly so that the lines appear a lot thinner. Whenever you press on with your pen, it spreads the nib out, and you can draw a lot thicker lines with it. If you just delicately press on, you tend to get thinner lines like that. But I don't need thinner lines for the shoes, I'm just going to draw them in nice and fat. Apply a reasonable amount of pressure. Thin lines again, hardly press on at all, to do the soles and to do the laces. You know, you could even use a thinner pen if you wanted. You could use like a black felt tip, which if you look at the nibs, you know, the nibs are a lot finer on the felt tip. So that's another way you could do it. I just don't press on as much when I'm doing it. I'm going to start with the nose and the head. Just going to draw this one line swooping all the way down, coming out into the end of the nose and bringing it back, curling it around there for the nose. I'm going to do the lip, which is that line, the parallel line coming back up to give him that big smile. And I'm going to bring this line, the bottom line, up to meet that one. I'll just draw the teeth in, just there you go. That's the mouth drawn. I'll just finish these eyes off. Just explain, I've left a slight gap at the bottom of each eye, as you can see, I'm going to colour that in whatever colour the fisherman's eyes are. They're blue, I'll colour them in blue. If he's got brown eyes, I'll colour them in brown or orange. And over the tops of the eyes, I'll just draw the eyebrows, sorry, like that. Now before, when I was saying pressing on lightly, you get thinner lines. You get thinner lines by using a thinner nib. I'm just going to demonstrate that. Yeah, you get nice thin lines if you use a thinner nib. And a way of making your pictures look nice is to use different thicknesses of lines. You know, some people have a whole range of different nib sizes with their pens. It always makes the picture look a bit more interesting, you know. You've got different thicknesses of lines. Generally, like thicker lines for the outlines of the main areas, like the arm or the leg, and the thinner lines for the details over the top, like the creases in the fisherman's pants or the lines on his eyelashes, eyebrows, whatever. Just something to bear in mind. I'll bring this line up, draw the ear in. Again, demonstrating again using the black pen. Then across. I think this pen's running out. I'll see if this one works better. Yeah, that's better. A few dots on the head there. I'm going to use this pen again for the hook. I'm just going to draw coming out from underneath the brim of the hat. A little line to show where the hook is sticking into the hat. I'll bring this one round, finish off the top bit of it, of the fishing hook, with a little loop where you would thread the fishing line through. Right, and I'll just finish the rest of the hat. It looks like the hat's a few sizes too small for him. To get the wrong size hat, but it will add to the comedy value, so I'm not worried. I'm going to use the thin pen for the lines. Getting into using this thin pen, I quite like it. That's something I normally do. I mean, this would be ideal for, like, say, if you wanted to create a card for Father's Day and you've got a dad who likes fishing. You know, you could draw a character. I'll have to show you how to draw a character playing football, or perhaps doing a bit DIY or something. You know, really good for Father's Day. These type of things. It's always better to get a homemade card than it is to get a shop bought one. You know, Dad will appreciate it so much more. Gonna draw the rod in now. Start with the actual outline of the rod, which meets at the top, and then I'll leave a slight gap. Like that. Yeah. And I'm going to use the smaller pen to draw the loops. Like that. And the handle, I'll just draw the handle in using them. There. Draw the reel in, which is going to just be whoop, whoop, whoop. throw the water in. I'm going to use my big pen again. Just going to follow this line that I drew, this curly line. Try and make it nice and smooth. Continue it. Get these few little lines drawn in, suggestive of water. Maybe there's a few. Right, all I have to do now is finish off the line, which I'm going to just draw this in like this. I'll do this little bit of detail here, like a miniature cliff. And this round top, finish off the water, which I'll just cut across like that. And that's it. I'm ready to rub out the lines and to start colouring it in. Okay, so now I'm going to rub out these lines, get rid of all those pencil lines. I'm going to use my orange for his little body warmer, kind of like a fluorescent high-vis type of thing going on. I'm going to use the cross-hatching effect, which is just a few lines one way, a few lines the other way. Like this, all different angles, just all over the whole vest. You can leave slight gaps if you want in the edge, if you want to create like a highlight effect. Here's my yellow. Just quickly go over the top. One solid layer of colour. Okay, so now I'm going to do I'll do these t-shirts. I'll make this blue. I'm going to do some small dots. Just cover the whole thing in these little tiny dots. There's different ways you can colour in. You can use marks, lines, dots, curls, swirls, zigzags. Just different ways of colouring in. Just going to use dots all over the t-shirt and a few lines in here just for a bit of shading. Like that. That should be enough. I'm going to use the same technique to colour the face in with the pink, because the pink's very strong. I don't want it to be as strong as that, so I'll just do little dots, like almost like it's got the measles. But from a distance it would appear like a pinky colour, like an overall pinky colour. This technique, I've probably mentioned this in a couple of other videos, was used by the Impressionists, late 1800s artists who called it pointillism. The entire image would be made up of these minute dots, and the different coloured dots could be like, would blend together when you stood away from the image and would make different colours, you know, like, so it was a different way of mixing colours. A lot of the comic book artists do get their techniques from like old masters, like oldie worldy artists. Right, I'm going to colour inside the mouth. Pink, use the pink. I'm going to use the pink more solidly. Perhaps do a few lines just to do the shading under the nose and the shading in where the eyes are. I wish I had a lighter pink. Right, my fisherman's going to have blue eyes, so I'm going to just colour them little gaps in blue underneath. Leave the top gaps white, because that's the highlights. A bit of orange, just solidly added for the eyebrows. The guy's got ginger hair. Bit grey. For the hat, again, solidly applied. I'm going to leave the band of the hat white, I think. And I'm going to leave the hook in the hat white as well, I think. Yeah. I'll do the pants green as if they're kind of like walking pants, you know. The only green I've got's a bright green. I haven't got like khaki. I suppose I could try and mix it like. The only way I can think of mixing this green to make it khaki would be to do this pattern the same as what I've done with the body warmer, but using the green. If I was to do that all over, lovely little green pants. Right, if I was to do that, colour them in yellow. I'm using the warmer yellow. I mean, you might just have the one yellow, which you would just use that, but I've got the two here. I'm going to use this one. Just going to go over the whole pant area. The pant area, not really khaki yet. Like, use an orange. Just lightly go over the top again, using the same crisscrossy patterns to just dibble in another colour. So you've got a 3-colour mix. There's all different ways you can apply these felt tip pens, you know. You experiment is the way, isn't it? Add a bit grey as well, just to give a bit shade to these creases. I think I'll have the shoes brown, just straight brown, both of them the same. They're kind of like brown sneakers. Like that. A quick yellow over the laces and the soles. Like that. Fishing rod. I think I'll make that orange as well. I'll use the dark orange. Just quickly push. I haven't caught anything yet. That's a thing you could probably, if you want to draw a little box next to them, you know. If you wanted to have a little fishing box, you just have to just draw it in quickly, like this. There's these little fishing box. You know, you could. There's a handle on the top. I've just quickly drawn it in. It's not perfect, but you could have. Yeah, maybe this is whatever you wanted. You know, a little stool if you wanted. I'll just draw his fishing box in for now. I'll just quickly put the ink in very quick. Remember to leave a gap where you put the handle. Draw the line in behind it if you have to. I used to use a fishing box to keep all my pens in when I was younger. And the box I used to use was brown on the bottom. The handle was brown. The top would be like a light brown. Make the top like a light brown. Let's just use the yellow to go over the whole thing. It was kind of like that. Yeah, almost. Right. Now all I have to do is draw the water in. I'm not going to colour the whole area. You could do if you wanted. What you could do if you wanted is create little swirls with a felt tip pen, just like that. Just a few little swirls. Perhaps colour a bit more in here and there to give the idea that there's highlights going on. A bit there, a bit here, a bit everywhere. And there's a few more of these swirls to give the idea that it's water. You could do a bit more with it if you wanted. You could, if you've got lighter markers, just fill the whole area, then just add the darker markers to create a bit of detail on there. The grass again, you know, you don't have to colour the whole area, you just have to, you can just do that, just to give it the idea that there's grass there, just, yeah. Just actually draw the grass, like little blades of grass there. Perhaps do a bit dark underneath where the shoes are. Just bring it a little bit. brighten, using a bit of yellow, lighten up the whole area. That's just about done. I mean, yeah, I've just kind of left the outsides, faded it out a bit, just to, so I didn't have to draw the whole thing. A few bits of brown on the bank, give it that look as if it's a muddy bank. There you go, and that's our Fisherman complete. Add a few more details if you want. Try putting different hats on him. Could draw a few fish on the bank as he's caught a couple. But that's it for now. Thank you very much for watching, and please subscribe to see more videos.